Hi, and welcome back to COMM1160. This is still week number 1, video number 2. And in this video, I really just wanted to talk generally about online education and some hints and tips that I have for you based on my experience over the last couple of terms with students that are involved in online education. So we are in a brand new kind of landscape, I guess you could call it, with COVID-19 and with doing a lot of stuff online. Online education is really something unique. And if you haven't engaged in online education before, it is actually quite different. There are some things to keep in mind about online education that I think can really help you both with this course and with any other course that you're taking online. So I first wanted to start talking about the pros and cons of online education, because there are definitely some good things about doing work online, but definitely some drawbacks as well. The nice part about online education and the stuff that I think you will enjoy is that you can complete the work on your own schedule. So the freedom that's involved in being able to watch something at 3 in the morning is not something that you get with traditional education. So it's nice, especially if you're trying to balance work and a family and all sorts of other obligations with your schedule. It's also nice because videos allow you to rewind to parts of a lecture that you may have missed. So if you're distracted for a couple of minutes or your phone rings or something like that, you can always pause, you can rewind, you can rewatch stuff if stuff is unclear. We don't have that luxury when we're doing face-to-face education. And the other thing, which a lot of people don't think about, but is a real plus, doing online education means that you're going to gain increased skill with technology. So you're going to be using different types of software. You're going to have experience in terms of, watching videos, maybe in other classes, even creating videos or going on camera. These are really valuable things that we don't actually have a chance to do with face-to-face education. So some definite good things. I think the flexibility is really probably the best part of online education. There are some drawbacks, okay, to online education that are important to keep in mind, because you want to build some plans to be able to deal with those challenges when they come up. And the first thing is that with online education, you have to stay enormously motivated and organized. And that's hard, okay? So we're all human. It is very tempting, especially in an online education environment, to let stuff go. So to, skip doing stuff for a particular week or not watch the videos for a particular week. You really have to dig deep and make sure that you're staying up to date and that you're staying organized and know all of your due dates and make sure that you're checking into Blackboard regularly. The other part that's a real drawback is that you're not going to have a support team with your classmates other than obviously when you're on campus to do some of those classes. But we don't have that sense of community that we always have in a face-to-face setting, where you can sit beside somebody who's in your program and going through the same kind of stuff as you are. You don't have the opportunity to, go out for coffee or go out for lunch and, talk about your experience as a student with one another. So try where you can to make connections with other people. These are going to be people that you're going to be spending an enormous amount of time with as you complete your program, but also later on when you're in the workplace. These are going to be your professional contacts, people that are working in the same field as you are. It's also easy with online education to tune out or get distracted when you're watching videos. This is another thing where you have to dig deep and you have to be very disciplined. So it's important to set up some type of a system where you can ensure that you minimize distractions while you're trying to get your coursework done. So set aside some time, build yourself your own kind of schedule when you're going to do certain classes at particular times, and make sure that you kind of stick to that schedule. And again, force yourself not to get distracted by what's going on around you. Probably the biggest thing for me, the biggest thing that I miss is that we don't have immediate feedback with facial expression or personal interaction. So it's really hard not being able, I know for me, when I'm, recording a lecture, not to be able to see faces, not to be able to assess whether people are understanding or whether I'm being unclear. We don't have that, like the ability to smile at one another. It's something that I really miss. And it's a definite drawback to online education. But I think going in with your eyes open and knowing about the pros and the cons makes online education a lot easier. In order to be the best online student that you can be, there's a few things that you want to focus on in terms of personal characteristics or in terms of habits. The first one is persistence. It's, like I said, very easy to put things off and not to stay on schedule. You need to persist. So again, you got to dig deep and make sure that you're getting stuff done. Effective time management is also really important because again, it's not like you have a schedule, blocked out for you where you automatically move from class to class. So make sure that you're really managing your time. You need to have effective and appropriate communication skills. And that's really important because you're going to be contacting people via email or via chat. So you want to make sure that you work on developing communication skills. Obviously, again, being mindful that we don't have body language and we don't have, facial expression or whatever to guide us when we're communicating. Basic technical skills. So again, being able to navigate through computer systems and different pieces of software are also something that you may want to work on. If you have really good technical skills and you're very comfortable using a computer, this probably won't be an issue for you. But if you don't, working on those technical skills is going to be really important. Reading and writing skills are also something to keep in mind because you're going to be doing a fair amount of reading, and obviously you're going to be doing a fair amount of writing. Motivation and independence are key, and it's very hard to stay motivated, again, especially when you don't have this sort of day-to-day schedule set out. But keeping motivated and making sure that you're giving it your all every single time is really important, as is independence, because you're not going to have somebody looking over your shoulder to make sure that you're completing work. And then finally, a good study environment is also really important. I always suggest that you create a little space for yourself at home that's going to be your study area, even if it's just the corner of a room. Okay, sometimes like devoting, if you're lucky enough and you have a spare bedroom or an office or something that you can work in, that's great. That becomes your little area of focus. But if you don't, like I said, even just a corner where you keep your computer and you keep, your notebooks and your pens and stuff like that, somehow that sort of psychologically prepares us to get ready to be able to study and to be able to give it our all when we're actually focusing on online work. Here's some free advice, okay, from me to you. And I will tell you that way back when I was in university, I took a few courses through something that was called ITV. And it was like online education, except it wasn't online, it was through videotapes. So I used to watch lectures and then complete the work independently. And I think I maybe did 2 or 3 courses or something that way. So very similar, okay, to what you're going through. And I learned a few things from doing that. The first one is to take breaks. It's very difficult to try to sustain your attention, for 8 straight hours. I'm going to sort of force you to take breaks by chunking up my videos so that, you watch a little video and then you can take a little break and then you can go back and watch another little video. But again, for classes maybe that aren't chunked up, make sure that you're giving yourself appropriate break times. You also want to celebrate small achievements. Okay, so each time you submit an assignment, each time you complete a particularly rough week, make sure that you celebrate. It's important for your mental health. Get yourself some type of little treat, okay, to encourage yourself and to celebrate the fact that you've met some goals. You also want to reach out if you need help. It can be very lonely to do online education. Again, where you feel like, you're the only person in the world taking the course. Make sure to reach out to your professors if you have any questions or concerns or need any help as you're going. That's what we're here for. Okay, so don't be shy about reaching out. Don't be shy about coming to course chat. It's very casual, it's very informal. And if you need help, let people know. Okay, so don't feel alone through the process. Finally, try to personally connect with other classmates and exchange emails and phone numbers so that you can stay in touch with people that are going through exactly the same process that you are. Is really important because we don't have that face-to-face experience where you're meeting people at coffee break, or where you're all going out to lunch together or something as a big group. So try where you can, okay, to make those kind of connections because these are the important people. When you're having a rough week, you want to have somebody that you can talk to. When you're celebrating a particular achievement, you want to be able to celebrate with other people. So even though it's awkward at first and you're all strangers coming into a program, try to make those kind of connections because it really does help the process and it really does make you feel less alone. I hope that this kind of brief introduction to online education allows you to think about some stuff and how you're going to approach completing COMM1160 and completing the other courses that you're doing online. Of course, if I can be of any help to you in any way navigating through this brand new educational experience, let me know. I'm glad to help. Thanks for watching video number 2, and I'll talk to you in our next video.